to know how to have it all, but maybe not at the same time, well, stay tuned because that is the topic that we are discussing today on this episode of The Little White Lie. Hello, everyone. It's Caren Glasser, and I am beyond excited about today's show because this is a show that actually got delayed from 6 weeks ago, and we've got her back, and I'm not even going to say her name until we're ready to introduce her. But before we do that, this is The Little White Lie. If you're here on replay, we're delighted you're here on replay. Make sure you make a comment in the comments below, and we'll come back and respond back to you when the show is over. If you're here live, oh my gosh, we're so excited you're here live because we know that you have a choice, and we're happy you chose to be with us today. We would love for you to share the show. It's just a shameless plug. Go hit that share button, share it out. Make sure that all of your network knows that we're on right now. And when you're sharing it out, make sure you use the hashtag LWL, stands for Little White Lie. So today the question is how to have it all, just maybe not at the same time. And who better than my closest friend from over, I won't even say how many years. Oh my gosh, I think it's like 40 or 35, 30. Oh my gosh, we're old. But Joan Ryan, she's amazing. She's going to be on the show today. She is the winner of the Broadway World's Cabaret Artist of the Year, which is a huge, huge honor. Her 4-octave range, that means her voice, she sings in 4 octaves, has led to numerous leading roles, including Les Mis and Little Shop of Horrors and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and Footloose. I mean, literally the list goes on and on. And you may have actually seen her for the many years that she was on Saved by the Bell. She played the role of Judy Denmark, Ginger Del Marco. And also, actually, that's not from the show. That actually is from the Los Angeles production of Ruthless. She was actually in the show. She opened that show. So in addition to that, you might have seen her in a most recent movie as Patricia from the feature film Hot Guys with Guns. Yeah, really, Hot Guys with Guns. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Joan Ryan in. Joan, how are you?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I don't know who's more excited, you or me. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we really have known each other, right, for a lot of years.
A very long time. I'd say a long time, yeah.
A long time. And we actually met singing. And that is actually how we connected, singing. And then fast forward many years, we reconnected again when I was singing at a synagogue as a cantor, as a religious leader, and you and I started singing again together. And I mean, the rest is history, quite frankly. Right. And before we even go into the show, I'm really excited to announce we have a song, the theme song for The Little White Lie. And you and I are recording this.
I cannot wait to be in the studio with you. And we're going to do some other recording too.
Yes, we're going to be doing a lot of other recordings. So I'm really excited that you're here on the show. And what I like to do even before we start with the topic is to ask you, Joan Ryan, what is your little white lie?
Well, that, Caren Glasser, is a great question because I was thinking about that. And I think my little white lie, I know that my little white lie was something that I actually told myself. All the years that my children were growing up, I would be auditioning for things in New York. I live here in Los Angeles, so I'd be auditioning for shows in New York. And quite frankly, I didn't really want a show in New York. I was very happy with my career the way it was in LA so that I could raise my children. And I would kill myself for these auditions. But I heard many years ago that if you don't have a result in a particular area, then it's really not something you want.
Right.
And the little white lie was really what I told myself, is that I wanted this way bigger career. And the truth was, I knew that this time would come, that my kids would be out of the house. I'd be able to go do what I needed to do. I always knew that. But I think there was a part of me that was embarrassed to say that I love my family. I love being a mom. And I didn't want to go too far.
I totally understand that. Yeah, and I really understand that. But speaking as somebody who understands your talent and how amazing you really are and all the things that you've done, I am excited for this next part of your life. Truly, I'm excited. So, I mean, the question is, can you have it all, or should you wait till later? What do you think?
I think one can absolutely have it all. I think we all have a pilot light inside of us, whether it's to be a nurse or a performer. I think whatever we wanted when we were little never really goes away.
Right.
And what I did is all that, I did work the whole time my kids, I did sing, I did act, but I didn't really take it to the heights that I thought I wanted when I was little, i.e. New York. So yes, you can have it all, but you have to do certain things. I never stopped training. I always kept myself together. I kept my chops up. I always worked and took care of myself so that when the time came, I would be ready. And so now that my kids are gone, ostensibly, well, we're laughing because we know that
they're not all gone.
They're not all gone. They're home now, and I am gone.
And well, isn't that interesting? But isn't that interesting? You go into that empty nest syndrome, and then the kids come home, and who goes? It's the mom and dad. They leave, right?
Well, it was very funny because my agents wanted me to come to New York this last October. Both of my children were going to be out of the house in September, and in August they both called and asked if they could come home. That they, needed a little boost, and could they come home? And my husband and I said, of course. So they're home, and for a brief second, I thought about maybe now is not the time. And I have an amazing husband, which helps. Mm-hmm. And he said, oh no, you are going. This is your dream. It is your turn. You are going. So they sent me with notes in my suitcase to my little apartment in New York, and they come and visit quite a bit. So it's really been an incredible journey.
What an amazing experience, though, that here you are at a certain age, it doesn't even matter what the age is, but now that you're embarking on this new journey that you're on, yes. it's sort of an extension of the old journey, but a new journey in many respects. And I know that you have some exciting news that we're going to share this afternoon as well.
Yes.
You have a concert that's scheduled in the middle of next year, and I know you have a date. And where is that concert going to be, Joni?
It just happens to be at Carnegie Hall. And it's a series of events. I decided that, well, I've got to speed things up if I'm going to New York now. I don't really have a lot of time. So I called friends of ours who are these incredible people that started an organization called Shane's Inspiration that builds playgrounds for kids with disabilities all over the world.
Wow.
And there is not one in New York. So I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity. We will do a wonderful benefit. I'll bring in my celebrity friends. We'll have a tiny little benefit and I'll be in it, and voila. Well, when I brought it up to my friends, they said, well, we just happen to be working with Carnegie Hall. So what do you think about that?
Well, so April just said, oh yeah, just little old Carnegie Hall.
That's right. So
I love that.
One of those things that might not have happened had I not taken the risk.
Right.
One of the things that and so we're very, very excited, and we're just solidifying who else is going to be in it. It's going to be an amazing event, and it's May 21st. More to come. But the end result will be that it's not just about me. We're actually going to raise the funds to build a playground in New York, and that's where our founders are from.
So exciting.
Oh, I love that. My daughter just chimed in. Yay, mommy. See, I'm the luckiest person.
Oh, we're just going to put Kelsey up there. Yay, mommy. Isn't this great, though? And that's an example. I mean, here you are an example to all families. You're a woman you're following your dream, and your kids are supporting you. Your young adult kids are not kids anymore, but they're supporting this journey of you as well. It is very, very cool. And as Kelsey said, that's my mom. Yes, it is. It is totally. And we've got April going. This is so amazing. And I know
you guys.
So this organization, Shane's
Inspiration.
Is this the first playground, or have they done a lot of different playgrounds, or how do they
have playgrounds? The original story is I was pregnant with my now 24-year-old daughter Callie, and we were friends with Catherine and Scott, who were pregnant at the same time. And unfortunately, when their baby was born, the baby Shane passed away within 2 weeks of childbirth. But they took their grief. They're remarkable people, along with Tiffany Harris, who is also the founder. Brad Thornton is also the head of development. They took this horrifying, painful experience, and they raised the money to build their first playground. Wow. Now there are over 60, I believe, all over the world, including Russia, Israel, Australia. Thank you, Rebecca Barker. Oh, thank you.
Joan and her family are a dream. I know, and I attest to that. Yes, they are.
And so there is not one in New York. So it's
Wow.
all works perfectly. When I called them and they said, and there's none in New York. So what turned out to, with a little benefit, because everything is working the way it should, it's going to be, when I think about it at night and I think about that I might have a part in having a playground for these amazing children, that just makes it all worth it. So excited about that.
And I want to bring this up. I didn't want to say it unless April said it. So April, having a special needs child myself, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and what you are doing to bring happiness to special needs families. And
Thank you.
April, thank you. And I know how much that is heartfelt, and because she does have a special needs kids, and what you're doing is so wonderful. Besides the fact that so many people are going to have the opportunity to hear your gorgeous voice, as well as the other talent that's going to be there. So I guess what you're saying is that we probably can have it all, but not necessarily at the same time. That you want. So what kind of hints or tricks or tips might you suggest to our viewing and listening audience? Maybe if they're thinking, I've got a family, I've got all these kids, I have these dreams, what am I supposed to do? Any thoughts in terms of your journey that could be helpful to others?
Well, I think first and foremost is, what is the most important to you? First, that's the first thing. If the most important to you, I know when I wanted to have my kids, to me, that was the most important. And I had a career at the time, but I was willing to put my career on hold. Certain things you can't have at the same time. You can't wait till you're 50 years old to have a baby. So if that's your priority, you have to do that knowing that the rest will follow. But for me, my kids and my family were my priority. Although I didn't just stay home for me. I needed to sing. I needed to act. I needed to do that. But when it came to going to a Halloween parade, that was my priority.
I so appreciate that about you.
Thank you. So it's all about priorities. It's not that it didn't sometimes, it wasn't hard for me when I would do a show with all Tony winners. But I said, okay, well, for me. So I think the first thing is one's priority. What is your priority? And sometimes you don't even have to, I didn't know that I was really turning things down because I didn't want to leave. Somewhere in there was that voice.
I'm actually laughing at this right now. So I think that Howard, your hubby, is watching the show.
Chelsea's Facebook.
That was from me, Howard. Howard, we love you. That's awesome. So you're here to tell us. You're here to tell us that we can do this.
But then you have to say, but in my case, it really was knowing that there would be a time that I would be able to do that, knowing that there would be able to time. So as I said before, I trained, I kept myself in shape. I kept my voice in shape. I didn't let it all fall apart. However, I still think that it's never too late, because truthfully, where are we going? Hopefully nowhere. Right. So I'm going to be the same age I am in 10 years that I'm going to be if I wasn't doing this. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And that is part of what the Little White Lie is all about, is that there are no limitations, or there is no maximum or minimum date or age that you're supposed to do something other than maybe having a baby at 50 you may not want to do.
That's right.
That age is an attitude. Age is not a limiting factor. It is only that lie that we tell us that somehow we think that we can't do something.
That's right.
And that we can do what we want and need and desire to do if we just stay focused and we just keep our eye on the end game, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just about compartmentalizing, I think. Right. It's about compartmentalizing. And if you compartmentalize, then, I don't know that I could go to medical school right now, because that takes too long and I would be 100. But
no, not 100.
Maybe not 100. But this is doable.
It definitely is. Well, I'm really excited. So you've got Carnegie Hall coming up, which is, I'm not making light of that. That's huge, Carnegie Hall. And the date again is May 21st.
It's a ways in the future, but I will have my own show in New York. Not exactly sure of the date, but it's either the first or the second week in February. All
right. So for our viewers, we'll make sure to put those dates out. We'll make sure that people know. And if you're in New York and you want to go to Carnegie Hall, make sure you put your calendar date in there right now, May 21st. So when the tickets come out, you know that you can go and not just support Joni in this, but support Shane's Inspiration as well, because this is really a very cool thing that you're doing, and I'm thrilled for you. So we talked a little bit about our history, and we've sung together, and we've recorded some things. And I'm laughing when you said, "Well, you really did, you did a little singing here and there." Yeah, you and I would sing at the High Holy Days. We would do these beautiful songs, beautiful numbers together, and we're going to be re-recording them because we want to put them out there. The music business is not the same as it used to be, isn't that correct?
That's right. It's very different. Everything's downloadable, but. To that, what we talked about, I could sing at the Staples Center in front of 10,000 people, but singing, which I did, I used to sing the Star Spangled Banner for the Lakers, but that was easier than singing with you at the High Holy Days in front of 500 people.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure why, but it was a whole different...
I might venture a guess on that, and that is because when you look out into the congregation or the audience, you actually know the people that are sitting there, and so it's a different environment. I mean, you're actually singing to people that know you, and I think there's a difference there. When I sing in front of a bunch of people that I don't know, it's a totally different show.
Yes, but there was a lot of people that I didn't know.
I actually prefer to sing in front of people that I know, because there's something about that connection and the relationship, and to be able to look right into somebody's eyes and know that you're touching them in a way that a stranger might not.
Yes. I think for me, more about singing with you that was scary at the beginning was that it's how I had grown up. It's how I had grown up in that environment. So there was just something grown up about it, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm going to put up here, I know that people are already I'm getting texts and things wanting to know, how do they find out more about you? Well, first of all, you can go to Joan Ryan's site. You can go to joanryan.com. Very, very clear. And more importantly, go check out her Facebook page at Joan Ryan Fan Page. And it's the official, isn't it? The official Joan Ryan?
Official Joan Ryan.
So I don't know why that says that, but here it is. We got it. It's the official Joan Ryan on Instagram, the official Joan Ryan on Facebook, and also on Twitter, right? Do you have a Twitter account?
I do have a Twitter account. I don't really use it. I usually use Instagram and Joan Ryan. I just haven't wrapped my head around. What is my Twitter? I think it's the official Joan Ryan too.
It's probably the official Joan Ryan. So
I would imagine.
You want to take the words, the official Joan Ryan, go into Facebook, put it into search, and you're going to find her. Go like her page, because a lot of good stuff is coming out. Go make sure you engage with her on Instagram as well. She got great images that you've got out there. Any last minute thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience about having it all?
I think it also has to do, at the risk of sounding a little, sappy, I think it has to do with gratitude for where you are in the moment. My mother always used to say, be where you are. Where you are is where you're supposed to be. And I think that it's not that things don't happen, and it's not that you don't have envy that, oh my God, I'm not where I am. But when you get the gratitude about being where you are, and you're very specific about where you want to go, sometimes you have to give up who you were in order to become who you want to be. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
You are a case in point, Caren.
I'm a case in point.
I've been with you through many lifetimes.
Exactly. We have been together. And I think it's also a matter of being uncomfortable every so often, and stepping into that and being uncomfortable, because only good comes out of it. And I really do believe that. I know a lot of people think, well, how could it be good if I'm uncomfortable, or if it makes me squirrely or whatever? That's actually my gauge. If I'm uncomfortable, if I'm feeling kind of about it, then I know I'm on the right track. How weird is that?
Well, I'll just tell you a quick funny story. The first weekend I was in New York, my whole family was here in LA. I moved to New York, and I'm in a hot, sweltering apartment this big, and I was hysterical crying on the telephone to my husband. And I said, this is a mistake. I do not belong here. I left my home. What am I doing here? And he said, just breathe. It will take you a couple of days. And he was right. But talk about uncomfortable. I was miserable. And look what happened.
the rest happened. Joni, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know that you're taking off for New York in just a couple of weeks again, and you're going to be there. And I'm just so happy that you could squeeze us in to be able to be on the show. Viewers, we know that you have a choice as to how to spend your time. And we are eternally grateful that you decided to spend it with Joan and I today. We really appreciate that. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So go out, have a great day, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of The Little White Lie. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Caren.